Welcome to Muskegon Rotary. I am Jason Pisecki. We've got an exciting program today. You all are witnessing history because you have a ticket to the first ever Muskegon Rotary Committee Palooza. So buckle up. We got a great meeting today. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to do a reflection from Jane Mountain, our Rotary trivia, and a visit from our student guests. We'll do the four-way test at the end of the meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. While Jane's making her way up for the reflection, I've got you can all be seated. Sorry about that, I had skipped over that. I've got a Rotary Community Service related trivia, and you cannot answer this if you were part of this. But yesterday, our club had a very successful community service project. Community service is one of the Rotary 5 avenues of service, along with, flip my page there, my numbers, Club International New Generations and Vocational Service, which we've been highlighting this year. At that community service project, it was one of our food trucks, our final food truck of the year at Temple Methodist Church in Muskegon Heights. Would anyone like to take a guess at how many 20-pound frozen turkeys our club gave away to the community? How many 20-pound frozen turkeys? Mel, I think you knew that. Yes, 150. So 150 frozen turkeys. In addition, we gave away 7,767 pounds of food to 123 drive-through participants, as well as 12 walk-ups representing more than 325 households. So let's all give ourselves a hand for that. Jane?
You have amazing ways of setting me up for my reflection. Cars and cars and cars. Last Saturday, our church parking lots were filled with cars. First cars of people coming for food at our church's food pantry, and then cars waiting in line for our mobile food pantry or food truck. Last week, the number of cars surprised me because they were unusually large. Generally, we have 50, 60 maybe at our food pantry, but those numbers are increasing. And in our parking lot, we had 104 cars, which normally we only have about 50 to 60. So in going around all these cars and talking with people, I found that many of the people were new, had never ever gone to a food truck before. One guy told me that he was having trouble keeping up with inflation and all his bills. One person told me that they'd had illness in their family and hospitalization. Another person told me that they had extended family living with them that they weren't expecting. And I tell this experience to remind you, especially since we just did a food truck yesterday, but to remind you and me that people are struggling in our community. Food insecurity is a certain thing in our community. And sometimes when we have larger numbers to serve, we think our work is expanding and that is a good thing. Actually, true success would mean that the numbers are going down and even approaching zero. Service above self is needed in our community, and I urge each of us to remember those who are food insecure in our prayers, in our actions, and in our giving beyond our usual amounts. Let us pray. Giver of all good things, thank you for the food that we are receiving right now. To those who have hunger, give bread, and to those who have bread, give the hunger for justice. Amen.
All right, thank you, Jane. Enjoy lunch, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes with our visiting Rotarians and guests and our program. Move on now to our visiting Rotarians and guests and our student guests. So if you have a visitor or you are a visitor, make your way up Jackie will help you out with the mic. We have Melissa Buffner, Eric Seifert, and John Noling has guests. Marty, if you want to come up with the student guests as well. Guests, don't worry, you have no responsibility whatsoever except to stand up here and look good for the club. Your Rotarian will introduce you to everyone.
I'm happy to introduce the club to Tom Vitale. Tom is an attorney. He had a long ways to come here this morning. He's right across the street at Smith Hoey Rice. And incidentally, he works with Craig Wickander's son. Originally from the southeast side of the state, now residing in Fruitport. Tom Vitale.
Hello, looks probably familiar. Dr. Rexford with us again. His application for Rotary was approved. Woohoo! So we're just waiting for orientation and go from there.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to introduce our Mona Shores Rotary Interact Purple Pinky team. Great group. By the way, if you do want to write a check to support their and our efforts to end polio, make it out to Muskegon Rotary Foundation, attention Purple Pinky. But to my right is McKenna Weiler. Proud mom Lori Weiler is in the audience. McKenna is a board member. McKenna, if you want to step over here. And come on over, Ashton. This is Ashton Ross, graduating senior, who was here as a student guest prior to today, but been a great leader in this club. This is Erin Sullivan. How's she doing on camera, Mike? Good? Treasurer of the club. Oh yeah, we got to keep moving through. Erin Sullivan. This is Devin Wilson, Muskegon High School senior. Devin was an interactor for 2 years. He's now a senior at Muskegon, and we're trying to get that club restarted there, and he's a veteran of our service projects. To my right, Bailey McMillan. We worked the food truck together last night. This girl has a heart of service like I just really respect that in you, Bailey. And she is a member of the board of, are you not? Yeah. Aren't you the secretary? You're just a regular board member at Mona Shores Interact. So Bailey McMillan and Anna Ivanov. Anna is the vice president of the club and mentor to the president. She has legendary service hours and great heart as well. Please welcome them.
It is my joy to introduce you to some Montague Wildcats. To introduce the students is Kurt Hansen. He is the principal at the high school.
Thank you. 25 years at Montague now. I've been finishing or working 25 years. My first year, though, as the high school principal. I've had the opportunity to see a lot of incredible scholar athletes come through our building. We are currently finishing up another fine fall season of athletics and academics, and our FFA program has some strong activities going on, along with our DECA club. But today I brought with us two of our finest scholar athletes. We've got Cale Kappas, and he's going to tell you about himself in a second, and Oriana Bilesma. They've had quite a great fall.
Yeah, hello. I'm Cale Kappas. So I do 3 sports: cross country, wrestling, and track. So I'm a 3-time cross country state qualifier, and then a 2-time state wrestling placer. And so I strive to do my best in every sport I do, and then also in academics as well, maintaining a 4.0 unweighted and weighted. I think it's a 4.27 or something like that. And so along with that, during the summer, I just help out and volunteer and try and help the community as well, especially with my dad's campground.
Hi, my name is Oriana Bilesma, and a little bit about myself is that I play golf, and I've been on the varsity team for 4 years. And my junior year, I led my team to the first ever state title for Montague for any girls sport in Montague high school history. Um, and this past year, we had that same goal to defend our state title, and we did. We achieved that goal. Um, I've been on the academic all state team for the 3 years, and the all state team just for 2 years. Along with golf being an important part of my life, I take my academics very seriously. I have a weighted GPA of 4.1, and I'm involved in Student Senate, and this year I am the vice president. I'm also in the FFA and in NHS. I just got back from National FFA Band in Indianapolis, playing the flute as first chair, and I've even gone to Europe playing my flute with the Blue Lake Fine Arts Camp International program. And my plans after high school include hopefully getting a golf scholarship somewhere in Florida, and and going into the medical field to become a pediatric orthopedic surgeon. So thank you.
So I forgot to share what I'm doing after high school. So my plan is to either go to Cornerstone University in Grand Rapids or Wheaton College in Illinois, and hopefully getting either a wrestling scholarship or ROTC scholarship, depending on where I go, in wrestling in college, and then going into business to one day help out at my dad's campground and maybe take his place as program administrator.
Wow, talk about impressive. The students, when they come and share what they're doing, I'm overwhelmed by their service, and I can't help but feel like a bit of a slacker when I think back to my high school days. Now on to our program. I have the pleasure of introducing Muskegon Rotary Club's first ever committee palooza. You might be asking yourself, what is a committee palooza? Well, you are about to witness a 20-minute video which is going to highlight 8 of our fellow club members talking about what they do in their club service and what our committees do out in the communities. This is the first of 3 committee paloozas. We have already filmed the most of Committee Palooza 2, which will air in February. So if that gives you any hint to the type of planning that goes into these type of things, it's a well thought out process. So without any further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Mike, and he is going to show the video.
The Rotary Grants Committee is a subset of a Rotary activity that involves using discretionary funds that the Rotary Club has available and which are used to support a variety of community interests or needs or emerging challenges. The Rotary funds that are used by the Grants Committee come from sources such as fundraisers. Some well-known ones among Rotary members here in Muskegon are the Grape Escape event annually, Parties in the Park, and the Rotary Club also has an endowment that has been built over time and held at the Community Foundation for Muskegon County. We have been quite active this past year and a half during the COVID period with food trucks that we have brought to certain areas of the communities where there is a need for food support and where there is food insecurity. Rotary has a website, and on the website is an area called Grants, where nonprofit organizations may apply following a protocol, a set of instructions that are on the website, if they would like to apply for financial support to help launch a new project, or perhaps request support for special project of significance to the community.
This fund was established in 1991 when the Rotary Club at one time owned Camp Emery up on Big Blue Lake, and it was sold, and the proceeds from that sale were invested in the Community Foundation in the Muskegon Rotary Community Fund. And the assets that we gain each year from the investment is what is used then for grants. We usually have, maybe 3 to 6 or 8 applicants per year. Those are reviewed by the Grants Committee. And if they fit our guidelines and if we have the money, we are delighted to award grants. Now, we did decide a few years ago, a very large committee of interested Rotarians got together and talked about this and what we wanted to fund. And we decided at that time, rather than dribble it out in hundreds of dollars, we wanted to make grants that would be meaningful for the community. And we have done that. We have made some pretty significant grants over the years. In fact, since '91, I have some numbers because they are important. We have made $472,000 in grants, which for investing in this community is, as I said, that's pretty significant. Some examples that we've done, we helped with the paver project in Hackley Park with the pavers. And then following that, we helped with the renovation of the statues there. And those were big, very big grants. But as we said, they make a difference in the community. We have helped with the Rotary, the YMCA Rotary Camp project a number of years ago. The Hackley stage that was built by the Party in the Park Committee a few years ago received a good-sized grant from us. And for the past 2 years, because of the COVID issue and the need for food, we have invested each year into the Feeding America food truck program. And as my husband says, I'd love to give away money. So for me, it's enjoyable to be able to help somebody in need. And that's what we do.
The Rotary Program Committee does a really great job paying attention to what's going on in the community and bringing those aspects into the club by presenting them as programs. We receive recommendations from other individuals within the club, and we also really look at finding a balance between informing people about important projects that are happening in the community, whether it's economic development related or entrepreneurship, nonprofit organizations. And we also try to balance that with what's going on in Rotary International and within our club as well. While definitely the challenge has been operating a program committee in the middle of a pandemic, when we went from being all in person to having to pivot and go virtual through Zoom, It took a lot of additional and extra work and innovative approaches to look at how we implemented those programs and really what was timely and of the essence of what should be talking about. I think that our program committee has done a really great job highlighting individuals in our community that are doing some excellent work and really paying attention to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and really trying to highlight individuals in our community that are doing everything that they can to try to be more inclusive and more aware of how to engage individuals from diverse backgrounds. It's been a pleasure working between the two committees to develop programs that are really representative of the mission of the DEI committee. I think that having a hybrid club has been really beneficial to engaging members more. I think that not everyone can get away every single week for an hour, hour and a half, but if they can join us through Zoom, even for a half an hour or so, that allows them to continue to stay engaged with us. So I don't know where we go from here and what lessons that we've learned that we would want to replicate or do differently. It definitely is more time consuming in planning and implementation by producing these amazing videos and the panel discussions. But I think the panel discussions have especially had more breadth and depth to them than an individual just coming and talking and presenting for 15 to 20 minutes.
Our future, I think, is exciting. I believe that what we have done is pulled forward or accelerated what we can use as our framework for delivering programs. I think we were forced to be able to record programs and provide things virtually, which opened our eyes and opened our perspective as to how we provide great programming in a variety of fashions. We can record programs which can be shown at a later time. We can record programs that will enable us to bring people in that we wouldn't otherwise have had the opportunity to speak to us. People that are limited by time, people that are limited by distance. So we plan to, and we are, being able to give people the opportunity to either view our programs virtually over Zoom or be able to do them live. And fortunately, we're able to do that at the same time. Well, it's a consequence because I think we continue to engage our members wherever they are. And I think it's important for folks to know that we are very receptive to ideas, and we're looking for ideas for program presentations and topics. We will work to try and bring these forward, and that we will continue to be diligent in addressing what people think are among the most important topics that we should be talking about.
I would say that youth leadership is our ability as Rotarians to reach down to those that are going to be the next in the future of Rotary. Well, it starts in elementary school, and then we have programs that also go through high school for students that allow students to gain leadership, to learn about Rotary, while also giving back to the community, which is also something very important, I think, in any leader that we want to develop, is that sense that they need to give back. We also talk about life leadership, which in and of itself builds our leaders. And life leadership gives the opportunity for schools to give us the names of individuals that they feel are going to be best served by this and would basically be able to come back after attending our life leadership conference to give that knowledge back to their schools and to create that leadership environment in their local schools. And so life leadership sends them off for a time period where they are with people that they don't know, from youths all across our district, basically, and that includes Canada. Having the opportunity to actually learn from some experts that come in and give us really quality presentations, learning what it takes to be a leader, what leadership looks like, how to deal with things that sometimes come up in their schools or in their youth sports and things like that, which are conflicts. How do you resolve those things? How do you get people to be engaged? All of those very important aspects of creating leadership, as well as learning to speak in front of people. Sometimes that's one of the hardest things for youth, is to gain that confidence for public speaking. But you get those opportunities, problem solving, conflict resolution, things that leadership is really all about if you're going to be effective. And they learn those things over a period of time, away at a camp. They come back into their schools, they come back to Rotary and tell us about that experience. And hopefully back into their schools, they're really changing the dynamic based on the things that they learn at the Life Leadership Conference.
And we interview and seek candidates to interview from every high school in the county except for Montague and Whitehall, which are attended to by the Montague Whitehall Club. We recruit as many fellow Rotarians as want to sit in on interviews. I do most of the legwork with the schools, getting the candidates and kind of vetting them. We call them, talk to them. We go there in person, oftentimes to the school, and we meet with the counselor or the principal or whomever. But we meet with the student and talk about the conference, talk about why we are doing this, and we look to see if they're interested. They've already been nominated, right? So we look for fellow Rotarians who don't mind doing things like that, going out to the high schools to recruit, joining me or joining Brianna at our interviews, which are held in March. We interview all 12 or 13, depending on how many we send, 14 some years, around a big table. And we get about 10 or 15 Rotarians there, so they can see the power that these students have going on. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Very uplifting to interview. Every 10 minutes, we have a different student coming in, and we pop them questions from all quarters, and just want them to know that we're serious, that if they're gonna go, we're gonna be spending, $375 each on them to send them to this conference. We want them to be excited, and we want to know that they're excited, or we picked the wrong person. The point is, we require a report from the Muskegon students that we send. We want it either in writing, a video, a slideshow, or want them to show up at a meeting and talk to us. I want to hear what happened. Brianna does too. So now that we've got written reports, we're going to feed these on a trickle to the club over time, along with photographs, so that they can see that and read. It's not a long piece. It's usually 4 or 5 paragraphs. But in 4 or 5 paragraphs, when a kid pours it out and they're not BSing with you, you can tell some wheels got turned because of the conference that we put together for them.
I'm co-editor of the Rotary in Motion RIM newsletter with Susan Bestman, and I really enjoy working on the newsletter because I get to be a part of everything that's being communicated. I get to see what's going on, things that I may miss or may not miss, and then try and find some creative outlet for me to be able to communicate that back to the rest of the Rotarians in Muskegon.
The challenge is that we have to publish it every week. And thank goodness that we have an amazing team of reporters.
It actually works amazing. We both have said to ourselves, we don't know how Bill did it for so long by himself. He approached both of us to be reporters. And to be honest, that was really a good way for me to make sure that my attendance was better, because you can always find a reason to not go to the meetings. Oh, work this or this home thing, and then you give up. When you have that commitment that you have to be there every couple of weeks, and I think being part of a committee or a group pushes us to get there and know that we have to pull our weight. And Susan and I, we trade seasons. She's busier in the summer and I'm busier in the winter. And yet we both have that idea that we're all part of a team, and whatever it takes to get it done, we'll help do that.
We love having a big team. As you know, it's a big job to report, and thankfully we don't have to report every week. So what we're looking for, if you ever want to join RIM, we will always take you. We're looking for enthusiastic reporters that are excited about getting that communication out every week.
I joined the club in March of 2017. Kirk Hallman was my sponsor. And I really didn't know anything about Rotary until Kirk introduced me to it. And I joined as a way to network and meet more people in the community. And shortly after I joined, I had a traumatic brain injury. So I was out for most of the summer, and that was in May, just a few months after I joined. So I was out for most of the rest of the year, not really able to be involved in things. By the time I got back, I was struggling to find a committee to join, and I didn't know what was available. I was having trouble finding where were there openings? What did I want to do? I really didn't know. And then when Bill Johansson approached me, he said, yeah, I think I can do that. And it was him reaching out and saying, look, we need you. We need somebody else. We need help with this. So my advice to new members would be, I would like to do a better job of reaching out to them to say, here's what's available to you. We see your skills, we see your talents, we see where we can place you or where you might be. My fear was, oh, I might ask to be on a committee and they might say, oh, we have enough, we don't need any more. And then I would, what would I do with myself? So yeah, Bill's approach and getting me involved was, he's so charming, you can't tell him no. And it was a good fit for me, so it worked out. And I would like to see that benefit for other people too.
I'm so thankful and so grateful to be part of this. And Rotary's pulled out some of my talents and that I didn't even realize that I had. When I first joined Rotary, I did not realize how big it was. And not only how big it was in our community, I didn't realize some of these things that Rotary does for our community. I didn't even realize it was Rotary that was behind it until I joined the club. And then when I went on vacation and I went to other countries, it was amazing. I went to Jamaica and I saw a Rotary symbol there. And I went to Florida, there's a Rotary group there. Yeah, it was just shocking how big and large this organization and the whole mentality, that same culture of service above self is throughout the world, and it gives you that hope for the future.
Pride is the first word that I think of when I think about what this club is doing. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And there are so many people that do so much. What I contribute is minuscule compared to what a lot of people do. And I'm just happy to be associated with it. And when you see the things that they're involved in and the fundraisers and the things for the community, and you know, yeah, I'm part of that group. And Muskegon's getting so much done, and Rotary's such a huge part of that.
Lori, you summed it up beautifully. Pride is a great word. That's our club. That's the stuff we do. It's a behind the scenes that's happening and the good that's being done in the communities. So thank you, Arn, Nancy, Chris, Tim, Brianna, John, Lori, and Susan. If you have not been asked for a Palooza yet, your time may be coming. A big thank you to Mike as well for putting that together. That is no small feat, and if you have ever been to Mike's studio and been recorded or seen what goes into that, or just try editing a video yourself on your phone or something to get it to that level of professional production is a thing of beauty. So thank you so much, Mike, and looking forward already to the next Committee Palooza in February. On to birthdays. We have a big list of birthdays because we're not meeting next week. And I know many of you folks are here today. So Chris Colley on November 12th, Pat Wallstra on November 16th, Jeanette Hoyer on the 17th, Chris McGuigan on the 18th, Michelle Burley on the 19th, Rachel Fawcett, Diane Flesher, John Rupert, Brianna Scott, all on the 20th. That's only page 1 of the birthdays. Page 2, Karen Kays on the 22nd, Kirk Hallman on the 24th, Gary Nealand on the 28th, and Roger Morgenstern on the 30th. If you are here, bring your $10 to Kathy Betts for Caring Connection, and we'll sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to happy. I was going to say. Pay up. It's for a good cause. Okay, our member spotlight, when we mentioned those 5 avenues of service at the beginning of the club meeting, this is a feature that we started this year to highlight our vocational avenue of service. And we've got a very, very special member spotlight today. Mark Myers, our immediate past president, the first, best, and hopefully last ever Zoom president in the history of Muskegon Rotary Club. Yeah, preach. We're going to hear about what Mark does when he's not doing good for Muskegon Rotary.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Myers. I joined Rotary in 2004. I was sponsored by member Nancy Crandall when she was Norton Shores mayor, and she had just promoted me to a city administrator. I thought joining Rotary would be a great way to meet the leaders, more leaders in the community. I've enjoyed it ever since. I'm married to Melissa, who happened to have met through Rotary. She's a former member. We have 3 teen girls. They're all student athletes. We also have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 bunnies, and a bunch of chickens. I've been in city management going on 34 years. The last 26 for the city of Norton Shores. It's great work. I enjoy it so much, improving the quality of life for our residents in tangible ways. And I also enjoy practicing service above self by being involved in a number of nonprofits in addition to Rotary, as well as my church. I've enjoyed chairing the World Community Service Committee of Rotary for many years. I'm also a member of WEHOP, which is Water Environmental Health Outreach Projects, a local nonprofit that was created by several district Rotary clubs in West Michigan, and have enjoyed providing clean water and sanitation in Honduras and other countries as well. The highlights have been the trips that I've done to Honduras, and just really enjoy that and hope to continue that work with our club.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Mark is a guy in the city of Norton Shores. If you have a downed tree in the right of way, you just reach out to him and it will be taken care of directly. That's the kind of thing city managers do that aren't listed on the resume. Okay, our committee reports and announcements. Kathy Brubaker Clark and Kathy Betts have a continuation of an announcement from last week. And McKenna and Ashton, if you want to come up as well and share your announcement with the club after.
I know, right, we're keeping it up here. So last week we talked about the new Peace Builders Club that we have started here through the DE&I committee. It's all about committees. And we didn't have the video last week, but we did want to show that to you. It highlights kind of where the group started from, which is the IEP is a group that has gone out and did a lot of work on developing what is made up of positive peace. And through that work, they determined that Rotary makes a great partner for that. And you'll see in the video that they have 8 pillars of positive peace that fit well with our Rotary's 6th Avenue of service. And in that, our goals through the Peace Builders Club is to educate, empower, engage, and raise the profile of the program. So you want to
do that? I was going to say, do you want to mention that we hope to be able to show more of these
Yes,
videos?
yes. So this is the intro to a whole module of training that they offer through the Positive Peace Academy, I think is the name of it. Up also on the front are these flyers, and it tells more about the program. And in January, hopefully mid-January, we're going to start showing before the meeting. Each module will have a few minutes of discussion, but for those of you that want to get more engaged in the process, so information will be coming out regarding that.
Not since the end of World War II have we seen more people affected by conflict across the world. Peace has always been deemed an unattainable goal we could only dream about, until now. Rotary International and the Institute for Economics and Peace, a thought leader in peace and conflict resolution, are partnering on a mission to spread peace in our communities. The IEP is on the forefront of peace building. Their annual Global Peace Index, the world's leading measure of national peacefulness, measures and quantifies the economic value of peace across 163 nations, giving us the unprecedented opportunity to analyze unity and see where countries are succeeding and failing when it comes to developing formal concord. In addition, the IEP has developed a framework to help us better understand the most important drivers of sustainable peace, something we can all believe in. The well-being of the places we call home all depend on building positive peace, and by measuring this, we can begin to comprehend the factors that cause or damage peace building. The IEP has identified 8 factors that are associated with positive peace, which provide a strategy for conquering conflict and developing lasting tranquility. What makes this partnership so innovative is how the IEP's model for positive peace aligns with the good work Rotarians are already doing around the world. Through the 6 areas of focus, our members are taking action to address the underlying causes of conflict. The blueprint for peace is at our fingertips, and Rotarians are ready to make the impossible possible. But true peace can't be achieved by government officials alone. It's going to take a grassroots effort to spread peace, and we have the framework to do just that. Together, Rotary and IEP are creating an online curriculum that will further educate Rotarians and peace builders on positive peace, as well as how to take action in their own communities. These courses will give you the knowledge and tools to help spread goodwill, discover the underlying causes of conflict, and educate others on positive peace through workshops hosted by your club. Through this curriculum, you'll be able to initiate your own project or support an existing one, beginning the change we intend to make. As people of action with over 1.2 million members and over 35,000 clubs worldwide, Rotarians provide the perfect network to answer the call for a pioneering approach to peace building, something our world desperately needs. True peace is more than the absence of violence. It's educating the everyday volunteers and leaders of tomorrow on positive peace. It's the new partnership between Rotary and the IEP, and it starts with you. The impossible dream is calling. How will you respond? Use the curriculum to take action or start a project today.
Thank you, Kathy, and DEI committee. It's great to see our club pushing this initiative forward, and we'll have more to follow in an upcoming meeting soon. All right, Ashton and McKenna?
Hi, everyone. So my name is McKenna Weiler. This is Ashton Ross. We're here from the Mona Shores Interact Club. We're here for the Pinkies for Polio initiative that our club is orchestrating today. Yes. Ashton will get more of the donation part of that. So polio is a disease that's been around the world for over 35 years. It's been worked against, and thankfully it's eradicated in most countries, but it is still prevalent in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So it's really important that we get people vaccinated and we we donate to help eradicate that disease for good, because innocent children every day that polio is still on the earth are at risk of being harmed by the disease. So Ashton's going to go into more about why Mona Shores is taking that initiative.
Hello. So Shores has decided to tackle this problem because eradicating polio is something that Rotary has been working for over 35 years. And it's a promise that it should be delivered on, as it's a threat as long as it's still out there. Within 10 years, if we stopped trying to vaccinate people against it, over 200,000 children could be paralyzed by the disease per year. So it's very important that we donate to help vaccinate and eradicate the disease. And the Gates Foundation will triple every donation collected by Rotary for ending polio. And that's it. Oh, and you can donate, anyone wearing an apron, it will collect money and paint your pinky. That's it.
Thank you very much. You must be very proud, Mom. I have an announcement on behalf of Melissa Moore for the Rotary Literacy Committee. She is restarting the committee, and she is looking for volunteers. A couple of facts about literacy is that less than half of Muskegon County third graders are reading at their current grade level. It is disproportionately affecting children of color and those less fortunate. 3 million, or gosh, I should read my highlight. 93 million adults are functioning at or below levels of literacy. 54% of adults in our country read below a sixth grade level, and 30 million of those adults are the primary parent or caregiver for their children. So it is more important than ever that we support this cause. Anyone that's interested can reach out to Melissa, and more information will be in the RIM newsletter. Also, to recap our Rotary trivia, let me get a show of hands for anyone that participated in the food truck yesterday at Temple Methodist Church in the Heights. So thank you all for going out and giving out those 150 20-pound turkeys. This is our last food truck of the year. Also want to give a special thank you to Arn Bozart for heading up this effort. But it's not easy getting volunteers to come out, and about 2 weeks before, it seems like we're really short on volunteers, and then the week before, it seems like we're about halfway on volunteers, and then miraculously, but not surprisingly, when it comes time, we have just enough, if not a few extra volunteers. So we have a full list of folks that did participate. Let me get to that. Let's see. Don Hutchins, John Noling, Marcia Hovey-Wright, Nancy McCarthy, Craig Wicklander, Valerie Blondin, Roger Morgenstern, Annette Smedley, Linda Juarez Garzaloni, that's the first time I've seen the hyphenate, Larry Fife, Mary Boyd, Kim Boersma, and Arn Bozart. So thank you to everyone. We couldn't have done it without you. One last round of applause. Okay. Rewind is tonight, and it is at John Noling's house. So John is cooking up some chili for the event. It is at 5:15 at 2332 View Lane in North Muskegon. So if you haven't been to a Rewind meeting, it's a great time. Went to the last one up at Fetch Brewing. It's a great way to connect with some Rotarians that you might not see at our lunch meetings. And this one promises to be a good one. So thanks for hosting, John. And just another reminder that after Thanksgiving, we all have a couple more days to wait to RSVP for our Rotary meeting. So instead of having to get our RSVPs in by Friday, we have to end a business on Monday to let Kim know if we're going to be at the club meeting or not, and want to thank the Delta for extending us a little more time to decide. And also, I'm very happy to report that after much investigation and study and consideration, that we've renewed our contract with the Delta, and we'll be here, but not only here, we'll also be at the Shoreline Inn in the summer months for the next year and a half. So thank you to everyone that contributed and researched, and in particular, Mary Ann Gorman, who did an extensive study. Okay, on to our raffle. Josh Silvis has the raffle today. What are we doing first, Josh? Oh, the birthday boy. We donated to the Gary Nealon Birthday Fund. $950. Oh, I see a trend. Are there any other Norton Shores mayors in the room? Your odds are, okay. Mort Canner. Close, Roger. All right. Well, thank you to our visiting Rotarians and guests today, and our future Rotarian, Todd, Tom, McKenna, Ashton, Devin, Anna, Aaron, Bailey, Kurt, Oriana, and Kale. Thank you for attending our meeting today. Next week, we are not having a meeting because we will all be having Thanksgiving dinner and hopefully watching the Lions get that first win of the year. So we'll see. Can always hope. We'll be back December 2nd, where our program will be about the Leonard Building. We'll be hearing about the new development that's going up on Western Avenue. If everyone could please rise, we'll do the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, thanks everyone.